Hello, hope I'm doing well. And today we're looking at the extreme challenge mode for the month of December. This is Warspite, the incarnation of Sagittarius. Now, this boss seems to be pretty easy. I just, for whatever reason, struggled like hell with her. I saw some comps that were doing sub 3 minute runs, and I'm like, what the hell am I missing out on here? But I figured out a strat that doesn't require such a high damage threshold. It requires a little bit of RNG and a little bit of luck. But we'll take a look. Show you what I thought about it. So for her skills, Blinding Burst. 12 seconds after the battle starts, and every 20 seconds after that, perform a charge attack. So you have a little indicator bar on the top of the screen showing how much you've broken it. And around Warspite herself, it'll be a little yellow bar that fills up, showing how long it has till it's over. If successfully charged, she fires a special barrage. If this barrage hits even once, and this barrage has 3 stages, it has giant arrows, then the trails of the arrows, and then the arrows trails explode. And if any of those hit you and you don't dodge, when you get the little miss when it pops up, you get hit with the darkness effect. Now this is like an upside where I think like the squid boss, the octopus boss, or whatever boss it is, makes the screen go dark. You cannot use your torpedoes, you cannot use your carrier airstrikes, you cannot use your battleship guns. So be aware that sucks. It lasts for 10 seconds. If the charge is interrupted, this instead increases the ship's damage dealt by 5%, and this stack up to 20 times. So Warspite can do 100% more damage if you keep breaking her bar. What I did was I had 2 slip-ups, I believe, in this run. I'm going to show you where I didn't do it correctly. The first one, if you can pull it off, fantastic. If you can't, that's okay. But we're just going to ignore the damage increase altogether because we're not going to break her bar. Instead, we're going to make her fire the barrage, but we're going to eliminate the barrage. We don't have to dodge it unless it's for the first one. We're going to eliminate it because we're going to use a carrier fleet and we're going to take advantage of carriers. When they launch their airstrikes, it clears the screen. Now, having 3 carriers is useful. You can do it with 2. But having 3 planes fire off at once, or in succession, sorry, means that it clears the various stages of her special barrage that inflicts darkness. And that's how I did this. So I avoided the damage increase, I avoided the darkness effect, but just got one more skill. This skill kind of sucks. So I had some gear to play with to figure this one out. Every 20 seconds, target your main fleet ship that most frequently attacked, so airstrike or main guns, and fire a special barrage at her. This hurts. Hopefully you can dodge. If no one in your main fleet has fired an airstrike or main gun, whatever, it'll target the whole main fleet. I think it does a little less damage that time. So usually when she fires it for the first time with carriers, you won't have shot yet, so it'll hit everyone. But if the ship hit by this barrage is a darkness ailment, which if the special barrage hit anyone in your vanguard, that means everyone's darkness ailment. This special barrage does an additional 30% of the ship's HP and damage. So, 3 hits, you're out. So that sucks. So we do not want to get hit by the darkness at all possible. I don't know if the darkness expires, but I know one of the times it gets a little rough for good old Shinano in my fleet. Let's take a look. I showed it before. Now, Helena and Kazuguma are really good for this. Helena is part of the RNG just to speed things up. Almost pretty easy to get. I went with the SG radar because the timing is offset with her than you would for normal carrier fights. So I trade 16 seconds after the battle starts, and so it's on a 16-second timer instead of a 20-second, just because our timing is going to be a little bit off, and it turns out it lines up really well. I was surprised. I don't think it's this run I have, but the run I attempted prior that failed, and I swapped some things out with other people's gear, it procced every single time I needed it to, and it was really incredible. Helena's back on the top tier for me after that one. Now, Kazugumo, you can swap her with someone else, this being Yagure, particularly Yagure Retrofit, because Yagure has a skill. Oh, it's not let me go over. Oh, it's down. So, Yagure's default skill decreases damage taken by carriers by 15%. Does not stack. That's really helpful for this because Warspite is going to be chunking your carriers. And then what you really want to have is a retrofit, air resistance. This is basically the skill Kazukumo has. They don't stack together, but it's really good, really powerful. I feel like Yagure could be a decent option for swapping out for Kazugumo if you don't have Kazugumo. Might even work better. You lose a little bit of damage, but that's okay. Most of your damage will be coming from your carriers anyway, and she's still providing that same buff. but you'll want to run some kind of survival gear on them, just because they get hit a little bit, not too much. It's not terribly damaging to your Vanguard fleet, but you still get hit a little bit, so a little bit of dodginess helps. Now for Unzen or whoever you have over there, I went with Unzen because her guns aren't too strong, and she doesn't have a barrage proccing all the time that will hit the break bar like Shimakaze does. Otherwise, I would run. Otherwise, I would run like Shimakaze or Aegir. Aegir's guns are too strong. Shimakaze's barrage is just a pain in the ass to deal with the timing. And Unzen was that kind of sweet spot, and she's tanky enough to work out here, so that was nice. Yeah, those Vanguard fleet. Probably swap Unzen out. I would say Helena, definitely a must. And Kazuguma or Yugure, good options. Now for the back line, I think most carriers will work for this. Maybe even running some of the ones with preload or increased first airstrike, like Akagi Kaga. That could be an option. That way they can rock on that first barrage and clear the darkness. You saw Implacable run the homing beacons, make them a little bit faster. Just helps speed things up because they're kind of slow. 23 seconds wave. If you're gonna run a fighter, run this fighter. It has the good rockets versus heavy armor bosses. Not the best, but I found it worked a bit better than like the Tiger Cat or whatever. And then dive bomb on her for the reload. I ran this on her just because I had it. For the torpedo bomber, you can run whatever you want. I'd say the Ryusei, because she is the one applying the slow, you don't have to worry about these ones missing. For the other two carriers, maybe think about something else. Just because it's be a little bit off of the timing and how fast you're launching your airstrikes. And here is Shinano. He also has. Did Black have it? Yes. Also gave them these. Every 20 seconds, 30% chance to evade all attacks. This can help a little bit. If this is another part of the RNG section. If it works. I didn't 100% check the timing, but it seemed to work out okay. So there you go. You can use this and try to keep them alive. As for all of their augment gears, I went with this for the evasion, and they can proc this skill. With the other one, there's no planes to shoot down, so you don't get the extra buff. And the anti-air doesn't help either. It's just there's no planes to shoot down. Went with double dive bombers on Shinano just because I don't want to worry about another set of torpedo bombers missing. So we should get more damage overall from using these dive bombers. If I had another Tenrai, I'd use it. And then with this Junker, because it drops really close and it's fairly fast, that way you're more likely to hit with it if you're offset with your timing with Implacable. And Hakuryu, running double Tenrai, don't have to. There's other options like the improved Helldiver or still a Helldiver, stuff like that. Something's good against heavy. Same Survival, and I went with this versus the Junker. I believe it's a little bit more damage. It's a little bit faster. This one actually did a little more damage, but didn't work out pretty well. It worked, so yeah. Good options. This is PR4 exclusive, and the Junker is from the Gear Lab. And submarine fleet, I just put my U.S. Navy fleet, my Union fleet. Just same old, same old. I did give them AP guns instead of HE guns. I know it doesn't make much difference because they're submarines and their firepower stat is abysmal. But after it worked out. Yeah. Also, make sure you have that augment gear on him, the dagger. Here's a torpedo crit rate, as opposed to the kunai, which just debuffs the enemy. Yeah. It's only a small chance, so for this, not really worth it. It doesn't stack, so it doesn't matter if you have a whole bunch from. I guess we'll go take a look at the run. Alright, so we'll start the run. Un's in his chat midair, or chibi form. Come in. We're not gonna deploy the submarines immediately. Also, I put gear skins on the guns and the torpedoes just so I can tell them apart, see who's firing when. I wait a little bit to fire the submarines just because we do not want to proc the break bar. Let's see, we walked right into the barrage that time. Not the best. See, our backline's doing good. Not dropping the torps immediately. We can. Not dropping the planes immediately. Holding, holding, holding. Now, now, now. Screen cleared, and it's rinse and repeat after that. Just keep doing that. Follow that method, you should be okay. As long as you're doing good damage, you should be good. Got a little questionable there with the submarines, but we're okay. Just be aware of that. That sub might mess it up for you. So, be a little cautious with your subs. I don't know with the radar scan plus proc. Really good. We're going to take a little bit of damage to the backline, which is very good. Over this point, I'll have one ship that's almost dead. Another proc from Helena, very good. Just holding off the planes. Another proc, there we go. Got a little close with the barrage there, that's fine. We cleared it out. Everything hit. I didn't see anything pass by her. Now there's Helena proc. I'll have to count them at the end. But you know. Another proc. Thank you, Helena. Very cool. Alright, we're down to 40 health bars. About 3 minutes in. And if you are getting hit, maybe only deploy 2 of your planes so you can kind of stagger stuff out. That way, Warspite will target someone else as the most recent plane fired. I don't know if you saw on the bottom left, but we got very close to getting hit by that barrage. Yeah, we messed it up there. It's unfortunate. You see, Shinado got absolutely chunked, so that's without the increased damage dealt. But that is the 30% extra damage coming into play. we just kind of went all out just to get back on schedule for this. Just let everything rip. And also, in case Shinano got hit again, I want to get her last planes off. That way we don't miss out on that damage as much would happen normally. Yeah, and Haku managed to clutch that clear out for us there, and we should be good now. And there we go. So yeah, if you time it right and dodge correctly, you can go in. You only need one carrier for that. Let's look at our damage dealt. What is that? 1.6 million from Haku, 1.3 for Shinano, 1.1 for Implacable. Let's see. 300,000 for Kazugumo, 100,000 for Helena, 600,000 for Unzen. The subs didn't do terrible amount. Looks like Archerfish did the most. Yeah, Archerfish was actually kind of close to Helena. Pretty crazy. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful. If you're like me and couldn't get past that damage check of just willing them down really fast, then hopefully this helps you with just slowly but steadily clearing it out. Be a little dodgy, maybe run a little more survival gear on your Vanguard fleet, just get hit. Obviously, you might not have Unzen or Kazugumo, but Helena is always available, and you can go grab your Gurei from the guild shop. Yep, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Found it useful. Share it with someone else, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.